Today, the forecast predicted clear skies and bitterly cold temperatures. My friends wanted to meet up for a photo trip, so we're heading out to the foothills around Mount Baker.
Hanging out at the Twin Sisters Viewpoint right now, and candidly, I brought my friends back to this place because I shot some video and photos here earlier this year, but wasn't planning to vlog any of it, so now I'm testing out the new DJI mic and just walking up and down the kind of shoulder here to try and stay warm because it's about 27 degrees out right now. But clear skies and a nice sunrise behind us. So I got my camera on shooting a time lapse, and I already put the drone up maybe a little too early. Almost killed one of the batteries, so we've got one other place we're going to go today to take photos, and then we're going to go to the brewery and have some pizza. So it's going to be really great. Oh, that's going to be real tiny on the GoPro screen. Got the twins right here with Baker.
Roadside photography.
Oh yeah.
Nice and peaceful.
Oh yeah, really enjoying the
really
tranquil mountain atmosphere out here. The river will be nicer because we park next to the road, but then we walk down to it. So I actually haven't gone very far down there because the last time I filmed there, it was really snowy, and so I just couldn't I didn't really want to bother post-holing down there in a foot of snow. So I just kind of stayed near the roadside. So I haven't really explored that riverbed, but it could be really cool.
I think I'm looking forward to walking around, and then also I'm gonna mess around with maybe a 10-stop filter today. See what I can muster up.
Yeah, cool.
I didn't know it at this point in the morning, but the plan for the day would take an unexpected turn. However, as luck would have it, this introduced me to a new and fascinating story from the history of this region. Before we get into all that, we're heading up the highway to the North Fork of the Nooksack River.
So yeah, we're hanging out down here in the Nooksack River, and so I'm gonna fly the drone around because we're getting this really lovely kind of side light that's getting these patterns. So it's good for aerial photos and stuff, looking straight down at the river. So let's fly around a bit and see what's good.
As we explored the riverbed looking for photo inspiration, the weather began to shift. The sunshine had helped to take the worst of the biting cold, but it also started to stir up some pretty strong winds. And so we decided to make our way back to the car and move along to the next stop on our trip. I think we'll check the brewery and see if it's open, and if it's open, or if it's opening at 11, then we could just hang out, and if it opens at noon, we'll drive up and see if we can get to Nooksack Falls, take some photos, and then come back.
So, yeah, worst case, we do a bit of scouting.
Yeah, I think the road, the last couple times I've driven past, the road down to it was closed, but I don't think that doesn't mean you can't go down there. It just means you can't drive down there. So you could park potentially at the top and we could walk down.
Yeah.
So let's go ski. Yeah, let's just do that. Go scout. I came to learn during our visit that Nooksack Falls has a bit of a storied past. As with most places in the Pacific Northwest, the story begins with the Coast Salish tribe and the Nooksack people for whom the river and falls were named. They inhabited 13 villages along this river, and the North Fork of the Nooksack River was host to important runs of steelhead, pink, coho, and chum salmon. Their ancestral fishing grounds ranged from their village at the South Fork all the way up to Nooksack Falls. European-American settlers came to this region chasing precious metals in the 1800s. The richest and most significant strike in this area was known as the Lone Jack Claim in 1897. Before that mine closed in 1923, approximately $500,000 worth of gold was excavated. $500,000 in 1923 has about the same buying power as $9 million in 2023. Due to the success of this claim, this whole area became known as the Mount Baker Mining District, and over 5,000 claims were produced between 1890 and 1937. The Great Excelsior Mine was located just 1 mile from Nooksack Falls, and there they constructed a 20-stamp mill to crush ore powered by a power plant constructed at Nooksack Falls. Excelsior is still an area that you can visit today, as a launch point for outdoor recreation and as a campground. The creation of the power plant itself is a story of intrigue. During the 1890s, a group of wealthy California businessmen led by Pierre B. Cornwall were investing heavily in the towns of Whatcom and Fairhaven, which would ultimately merge to become the city of Bellingham in 1903. Their Bellingham Bay Improvement Company supplied electrical power to these towns with wood-fired steam generators near the turn of the century. In 1902, P.B. Cornwall and 3 of his associates staked a number of mining claims on federal lands, encompassing Nooksack Falls and the surrounding area. By patenting mine claims, titles could be issued on this land for only $1,000 in fees, whereas obtaining the same land as a hydroelectric site, their cost for the first 10 years would have totaled $33,000, followed by $6,000 per year thereafter, in perpetuity. The United States later filed suit in federal district court in 1914 against P.B. Cornwall, alleging that their land patent had been obtained fraudulently. The layout of the finished hydroelectric projects strongly suggested that from the onset, most of the mining tunnels were truly intended as conduits to convey water to the site of the generating plant downriver from the falls. The US government further alleged that Cornwall had salted bogus mine shafts with gold ore in order to substantiate his mining claims. However, after 22 years in court, the case was dismissed and ultimately affirmed the validity of Cornwall's claim to this land. The power plant supplied electricity to the city of Bellingham for nearly a century, although not without other troubles. This plant also suffered periodic turbine failures due to seasonal increases in turbidity of the river water. During these times, cloudy water laden with sediment ran through the turbines, causing a lot of wear and tear. In 1997, the plant was finally closed after a great fire damaged the generator. Signs everywhere warned us of the danger of these falls. A plaque respectfully enumerates the 8 visitors known to have died while visiting between 1947 and 1999, including 1 mother and her unborn child. It was immediately apparent to me when standing at the viewpoint exactly why this location has claimed so many lives. Water plummets up to 88 vertical feet directly onto jagged rocks before collecting in pools below and then continuing its journey downriver. However, it's really not possible to get a full view of the falls from the viewpoint because the steep overhanging rock obscures the lower half. And yet, the desire to see the bottom of this roaring cascade tempts you ever closer to the edge, as you feel the urge to try to peek out and see just a little further. In modern times, we have access to technology that can safely satisfy our deadly desire to see the entirety of the falls. And so, I immediately put mine to work. From snowbound peaks where water's trapped until summer, to the deadly falls near the headwaters, and to the valley floor where the river gives life to rural communities. Today's photography trip became a story of 3 different phases in the life cycle of the Nooksack River.